Yes guys, welcome back to another video. Welcome to more GBFC. Man City 2, Aston Villa 1. A huge match in the Premier League's Champions League spot race. And I think Man City might have given themselves a huge advantage despite now having played a game more than everybody else, but so have Aston Villa. This is the league table. City now third, 61 points, 5 behind Arsenal, but Arsenal have a game in hand. Forest on 60, Newcastle 59, and then Chelsea and Aston Villa with 57, but importantly here, Aston Villa have now played a game more than everybody else. And having that L in there after all of those wins in a row, is this going to be a big pin inside the Aston Villa balloon that has been blowing up well all season? Today, we're not just going to talk about this Man City win against Aston Villa. I want to show you all of the fixtures left and the percentage chances of top 5 for all of these clubs. It's damning, really. City now with a 95.1% chance, Forest with an 80.1%, 77.6% for Newcastle, 29.7% for Chelsea, 17.3% for Aston Villa. Speaking of percentages, a vast majority of you guys who watch these videos are not yet subscribed to more GBFC, so please do, so that you don't miss any of the content here in the run-in for the end of the Premier League season. But let's take a little look now at this Man City-Aston Villa game, which could end up being pivotal in this race. Silva gives Man City the lead, Rashford equalises, and it is a 94th minute winner at the Etihad for Manchester City. You can see the momentum chart for this game. Aston Villa, not quite up to the same kind of pacing, I think, of what we've seen from recent matches. And look, you can't really blame them. Yes, there's a big squad there, so you might have expected a few more changes from Emery, but he did take some changes, really. He takes out John McGinn. Onana comes in. I just think that Aston Villa are better when Tielemans and Boubacar Kamara are that midfield. With John McGinn further forward, he just always seems to have the legs. Maybe he doesn't have the legs right now, so maybe he's been taken out. We don't know, but he does come off the bench. 5 substitutions made for Aston Villa. John McGinn comes on with 29 minutes to go for Jacob Ramsey, but there is only one substitution in this game that changes everything for me, and it is the second time in a row, and it's not just the second time. We've seen this often from Man City, but I want to take you back to Man City's win at the weekend against Everton. They left it late, but Jeremy Doku comes on, 3 out of 3 successful dribbles. Jeremy Doku is a defender's nightmare at the end of this game. Pep Guardiola saw that there was an Aston Villa substitution made. Matty Cash goes off in the 61st minute for Axel Disasi. And look, Disasi at Aston Villa has been significantly better than Disasi at Chelsea, but if there's one thing Disasi isn't good at, it's managing to stay on the ground and track back, chase his man, and that is what he was doing here. Jeremy Doku comes on for McAtee, and that sees Marmoush kind of move central because Kevin De Bruyne also came off towards the end, but De Bruyne then drops back a little bit to be more creative, allowing Marmoush to be the furthest forward, and then Jeremy Doku is there on that left wing to isolate Axel Disasi, and guess what? That's exactly what he does, and he puts the ball perfectly across the face of the goal, and the winner is scored by none other than Matheus Nunes coming in at the far post. Man City's right back, but look, Pep Guardiola changing the way that this game was going. He's like, look, we can't afford to draw our home matches. We need to go out there and win this if we want to be back in the Champions League again next season. And it was that substitution. The Jeremy Doku substitution could be absolutely huge when it comes to this for Man City. Because if you look at the teams that City have got left, 4 matches to play. They've played one more than everyone else right now. 95.1%. Their goal difference is superior to all of the other teams. And obviously Aston Villa, sorry, you know it's Aston Villa there, don't you? It's just my face is covering it. They got Wolves at home at the weekend. And look, we've spoken about Wolves on this channel. They're in incredible form right now. Vitor Pereira, what an amazing job. But is that going to be one step too far to expect them to go to the Etihad and win? I think City are going to win this. I think they'll go to Southampton and destroy them. I think they'll beat Bournemouth at home and Fulham away. I think all of those teams, they're going to beat them. I think it is now 100% points left for Man City, which would see them finish on 73. Nottingham Forest. We spoke about Forest in yesterday's video, right? After that win away at Spurs. That was one of the games you look at and you think, well, are they going to win there? Of course they're going to win there. Tottenham lose pretty much more often than they bloody don't they? Brentford at home. Brentford have got nothing to play for. Palace away could always be tricky, but Crystal Palace have kind of fallen off recently. Leicester are relegated. They don't score goals. West Ham away. They've fallen away again at the end of this season. I would not be surprised, if Nottingham Forest do manage to get 12 points out of these 4 matches, which would leave the game against Chelsea on the final day of the season. So if that's the case, that puts Nottingham Forest on 72 points here. And if they beat Chelsea, they would actually finish ahead of Man City, even if City win all of their remaining matches. So this Nottingham Forest-Chelsea game is looking like it is actually going to potentially be a shootout, but that depends on what Chelsea do. But let's not go into Chelsea yet. 59 points for Newcastle. They beat Ipswich at home. Ipswich are rubbish. Brighton away, potential banana skin. Newcastle, Chelsea. At this point in time, Chelsea are going to have to go to St James's Park and get a result, or at minimum, get a draw in the hope that Newcastle struggle away at the Emirates. Everton at home, because Everton are always difficult to beat, whether they've got something to play for or not. So for Newcastle, these fixtures, Alan Shearer's there on Match of the Day saying, Chelsea have got by far the hardest fixtures. Newcastle, I think it's important that 3 of these matches are at home. And I think if this is at Stamford Bridge, then I think Chelsea are the favourites to get more points ahead of Newcastle. But it's not at Stamford Bridge. It's at St James's Park. And I've been saying for so long, I just don't think Chelsea, there's enough about us as a team, as a club. I don't know. I don't think we're going to beat Newcastle away from home. If I'm being really honest with you, I think Newcastle are going to beat us. So I think they might draw away at Brighton, mate. But no, I don't think they will. This is the difficult thing, right? I genuinely see wins in the majority of matches for almost all of these teams now, between now and the end of the season, which actually makes these percentage chances seem pretty accurate, to be fair. Chelsea with less than 30% chance, because I just do think I think Newcastle are going to get so many points here. Away at Arsenal, they might lose, to be fair, but Arsenal also going to have their minds very much on other things at that point too. Now for Chelsea, these next 2 home games against the 2 Merseyside sides, Everton, you've got to win that. There is, now that Man City have won this game, Chelsea cannot drop points here at home to Everton. It is just a no-brainer, has to be a win. Liverpool will be champions by the time they come to Stamford Bridge. That means guard of honour at the bridge. Love that, don't we? We bloody hate it. But the fact is, Chelsea are going to be playing against a Liverpool team that might be ever so slightly hungover from all the bubbly, from the beers, from whatever they choose to. But at the same time, I expect a professional, high-quality on-a-slot Liverpool performance here. But Chelsea are going to have to beat Liverpool at home. As simple as that. If Chelsea want a chance, we have to beat Liverpool at home. I think we lose away at Newcastle. So we beat Man United at home. Surely we've got to. They've got their eyes on a Europa League. They're making changes in the league. If Wolves can go there and beat them, no disrespect, you guys know that I'm a fan of Wolves at the moment. I'm not a fan. Let me say that again. I like what Wolves are doing at the moment. Let's be clear here. Chelsea will beat Man United at home. So that's 9 points more, meaning that game away at Nottingham Forest is just so big. If Chelsea get 9 points out of the next 4 matches against Everton, Liverpool, Newcastle and Man United, which again, that is a very bold prediction from me, that puts them on 66. We're not going to be able to chase Nottingham Forest with that. Nottingham Forest do in fact win all of those 4 matches. Based on the idea that Chelsea lose at Newcastle, that match between Forest and Chelsea isn't even relevant for Chelsea catching Nottingham Forest. If that is the case, there will be 6 points. The Nottingham Forest are ahead of Chelsea going into that final match on May the 25th. Aston Villa, I think, are going to win all of these remaining matches, so they get an extra 12 points. So Aston Villa will finish on 69 points, but that won't be enough, I don't think, for Aston Villa. Chelsea, we're going to need to go to Newcastle and stop them beating us, to be quite honest, because based on my thought that there's no reason why Nottingham Forest cannot win all of their next 4 matches, that would leave them on 72 points. I think Chelsea will lose at Newcastle, which means we will have, if we win all of those home games, 9 more points, which means Chelsea will be on 66. I think Newcastle get 10 points out of these 5, which leaves them on 69 points, which means the game I haven't counted for here is Chelsea away at Nottingham Forest. And if we win away at Nottingham Forest, we would then be on 69 points, which wouldn't be able to catch up with Nottingham Forest, who would have 72. So Chelsea would then be relying on having a higher goal difference than Newcastle to finish in the top 4 based on all of these out of their rogue predictions. Assuming the majority of matches for all of these teams end up with wins, I think Chelsea are going to need to outperform Newcastle's goal difference on the final day of the season. The one thing here that I think is a huge questionable point is whether or not Nottingham Forest are actually going to be able to win all of those 4 matches before the Chelsea game when I think they should. I honestly don't think they could have had better fixtures. Brentford have got nothing to play for. Palace are focused on the FA Cup this weekend. Maybe they're completely out of it if they get knocked out of the Cup. And they won't care about this one, maybe. I don't know. I'm saying that, but like, of course Palace are going to care. Leicester at home, it's a banker. West Ham away, I just don't see anyhow that West Ham can get a result there. So I genuinely think Forest will get 12 points from these games. I just don't see it being any other way. Newcastle, tricky away at Brighton, always difficult. Chelsea are going to have to go to Newcastle and get a result. I just think that is the game that I don't expect Chelsea to get a result in. So basically, from this, Aston Villa will be on 69 points, but their goal difference isn't high enough. My prediction is that we see Newcastle, Chelsea, and Aston Villa all on 69 points at the end of this season, which with Aston Villa's only +5 goal difference right now, Chelsea and Newcastle are neck and neck. Who is going to get bigger wins here? Chelsea or Newcastle? Whose goal difference is going to be highest between Chelsea and Newcastle? Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. And goal difference-wise, I don't have a clue, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's difficult enough to make predictions at the best of times. But if Newcastle could beat Ipswich 6 or 7 at St James's Park, and that could be it. You know what I mean? Chelsea, Everton, like I don't see Chelsea scoring loads of goals. Liverpool, we'd be lucky to win that. Like Chelsea we have to turn it up now. We don't beat Man United very often. We did last season, but we got to do that again. And I think we've actually got to go to Newcastle and win. If we go to Newcastle and win, then there's no reason why Chelsea can't do it. But otherwise, we're just relying on goal difference. This is mad. This has kind of put me down. I feel shit after I've done this video. I'm not going to lie to you because this is crazy. Just let me know what you think. Man City, Forest, Newcastle, Chelsea, Aston Villa. How many points do you think they're all going to accrue between now and the end of the season? I think City, then Forest, and then Newcastle, Chelsea, and Villa are all going to be on 69 points. This is mad. My mind changes on this every flipping day as well because results just keep happening and I keep being like, what? Let me know how you feel about all of this in the comments down below. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you tomorrow.